Aloha mai kākou, e ia ka ho ike no ka Pepeke Painu. Mai poina nā lula, e ho'olohe, e lua o lelo, e kolu, ho ike I ka maupopo ole. I nā he ninau, e leka wila mai. So a little recap, hana pili ole. Those are the verbs that don't require anything to make the verb complete. So holo, lele, hia moe, pi'i mauna, au. Those are all verbs that you can do without having any other object dependent on the action. So you don't need anything to holo, you just run. Lele, can jump or fly, doesn't require anything else. Hia moe, you sleep. All of these are hanapili ole. If you need more of a clarification, look to the E Painu PowerPoint. And hanapili, things that you usually will need another object to complete the action. Helu helu, kakao, peku, oki, ai, kui. You need a book to helu helu. You need a pen. You need to write something. Kakao, you have to kakao something. You have to eat something. Ai, another food. You have to, a food is required to complete the eating action. Those little VT, VI, those are the letters in the dictionary, puke vehe vehe, that will tell you what kind of verb they are. Hanapili, VT, transitive verb. Hanapili ole, VI, intransitive verb. So our Pepeke Painu, really similar to the E Painu sentences, just without the E. So, pi'i mauna owai, pi'i mauna ke kane, pi'i mauna ke kane I hea. Pi'i mauna ke kane I hea. Pi'i mauna ke kane I wai ale ale. Pi'i mauna ke kane I wai ale ale. Pi'i mauna ke kane I hea. Pi'i mauna ke kane I wai ale ale. Yeah, pi'i mauna ka wahine I wai ale ale. In this picture, pi'i mauna ka wahine I wai ale ale. E a ole pi'i mauna ka wahine I wai ale ale. Pi'i mauna ke kane I wai ale ale. In English, this context is the man hikes at wai ale ale. Kind of, he hikes, that's his thing, he hikes at wai ale ale. Not really like a past tense, past, present, future kind of thing, but he normally hikes at wai ale ale. And then to cancel this sentence out, you just put one a ole in front. A ole pi'i mauna ka wahine I wai ale ale. The woman doesn't hike at wai ale ale. And that'll be for most of the sentences, unless you have a pronoun. Mai poina, the pronouns go right after the a ole. And we'll get to that in the next slide. Like, pi'i mauna o silver pili vale. Pi'i mauna o silver pili vale I hea. Mai kai, pi'i mauna o silver pili vale I wai ale ale. Pi'i mauna o silver pili vale I wai ale ale. Although this might not be historically accurate, Silver Pili Vale, famous hiker on Oahu. A lot of times you like the Ko'olau mountain range. But just for this PowerPoint, pi'i mauna o Silver Pili Vale I wai ale ale. Pehea, pi'i mauna o bo I wai ale ale. A ole pi'i mauna o bo I wai ale ale. Because I am bo, wau o bo, I could say a ole au pi'i mauna I wai ale ale. The papani right after the a ole. So pi'i mauna o silver pili vale I wai ale ale. A ole au pi'i mauna I wai ale ale. Maikai, maikai. Okay, ia peku. Peku kahaumana. Peku kahaumana I ke aha. Peku kahaumana I ke aha. Maikai, peku kahaumana I ke kini pōpō. Peku kahaumana I ke kini pōpō. Maikai, pekua nei na I lio I ke kini pōpō. Pekua nei na I lio I ke kini pōpō. Ma ke ia ki'i in this picture. Pekua nei na I lio I ke kini pōpō. Maikai, a ole peku na I lio I ke kini pōpō. A ole peku na I lio I ke kini pōpō. Peku ka haumana I ke kini pōpō. Maikai, maikai. A pehea e olelo ai. Pehea e olelo ai I ke ia. Ke ia ka run. He mau wahine. And an alanui. Alanui ke ia. So pehea e olelo ai. Maikai, holo. Holo. A holo o vai. Holo na wahine. Holo na wahine. A holo na wahine mahea. Maikai, holo na wahine ma ke ala nui. Ala nui road. A holo na wahine ma ke ala nui. Hea holo na kane ma ke ala nui. A ole holo na kane ma ke ala nui. Holo na wahine ma ke ala nui. Pehea holo au ma ke ala nui. Holo au ma ke ala nui. A ole au holo ma ke ala nui. A ole au holo ma ke ala nui. Alright guys, since you'd be talking to me, a ole oi holo ma ke ala nui. Maikai, maikai. A pehea e olelo ai I ke ia. Pehea e olelo ai I ke ia. O ke ia he kahakai. He kahakai ke ia. He kolu. Pea okou paha. Okou ke ia. Okou. Kahakai. Okou. Surf. He'e nalu. He'e. To be slippery. He'e nalu. A wave. He'e nalu. Slip on the wave. So pehea e olelo ai ke ia. Maikai, he'e nalu oukou I kahakai. He'e nalu oukou I kahakai. One thing, not too sure if I mentioned this, kahakai usually doesn't get a K in front of it. So I kahakai rather than I ke kahakai. Most times, I kahakai, I kai, that kind of context. Maikai, pehea e olelo ai ke ia. A ole, au. Maikai, a ole, au ke kane. A ole, au ke kane. A ole, au ke kane. Pehea ke ia kane. Pehea ke ia kane. Pehea ke la kane. Pehea ke la kane. kind of farther away. Pepeke kane. Maikai. Oh, hauda. Hauna loa ke la kane. Maikai. Nolaila. Hui. Ei nei. Hui. Ei nei. Hui. Ei nei. Some of you may have heard that before. Hui. How you call someone? Eya nei is usually meaning you. A little bit politer. This eya comes from oya. Eya nei. E oi nei is a little bit rude from what I've been told. E oi nei. It's kind of like a very chiefly thing to say. E oi nei. Eya nei. E nei. Usually this doesn't get pronounced too good. E nei. Ui, e nei. E au au oi ke ia manava. Ui, e nei. E au au oi I ke ia manava. A ole au au ke kane. Hauna loa ke la kane. Ui, e nei. E au au oi ke ia manava. Maikai, maikai. So lele koae. We're gonna ho'omau a little bit on our helu. Just for practice. We got ekahi, e lua, e kolu, e ha, e lima, e ono, e hiku, e valu, e iwa, umi. And then we have all the umi kuma kahi, umi kuma lua, umi kuma kolu, umi kuma ha, umi kuma lima, umi kuma ono, umi kuma hiku, umi kuma valu, umi kuma iwa, and iwa ka lua. That's 11 through 20. And then going over 20, iwa ka lua kuma kahi, iwa ka lua kuma lua, iwa ka lua kuma kolu, iwa ka lua kuma ha, iwa ka lua kuma lima, iwa ka lua kuma ono, iwa ka lua kuma hiku, iwa ka lua kuma valu, iwa ka lua kuma iwa, kana kolu. So the iwa ka lua kuma kahi, iwa ka lua kuma lua, they are a little bit of a bunchful to pronounce. Iwa ka lua kuma kahi. They are the, I would say, more standard way to pronounce them. A little tip, maybe. So practice. Make sure you learn all of these. Iwa ka lua kuma kahi, iwa ka lua kuma lua, iwa ka lua kuma kolu. But olelo ni ihau, not too sure, other manaleo. Usually for 20, so 21, ka kuma kahi. Ka kuma kahi. 22, ka kuma lua. Ka kuma lua. Ka kuma kolu. Ka kuma ha. Ka kuma lima. A little bit shorter way to say it, but do remember the iwa ka lua kuma kahi, iwa ka lua kuma lua. Those are very important too to practice. And then kana kolu, 30. Kana kolu gets easier because and now we're getting into this little pattern. Umi, 10. Iwa ka lua, 20. Kana kolu, 30. Kana ha, 40. Kana lima, kana ono, kana hiku, kana valu, kana iwa. And all the same. Kana ha, kuma kahi. Kana ha, kuma lua. Kana ha, kuma kolu. And all the same system up until 100. Ho'okahi. Ho'okahi haneli. 200 e lua haneli. 300 e kolu haneli. And then all the way up until 1,000. So now we can count up pretty high. We're going to practice. So if you don't have a notepad and a pen or a pencil, pause the video, go grab something to write with, and we'll practice our numbers. So I got my notepad right over here, my pen. I'm gonna go e ho ike mai. I'll say a number, write it down. If you need more time, pause the video, and then I'll show what number I wrote, and you can double check. Na leila, e ho ike mai, umi kuma ono. Maikai, umi kuma ono. E ho ike mai, kana valu kuma hiku. Maikai, Kanavalu Kumahiku. E ho'ike mai, kana hiku kumalua. Maikai, kana hiku kumalua. E ho'ike mai, kana lima kumaiva. Maikai, kana lima kumaiva. E ho'ike mai, kana hiku kumahiku. Maikai, kana hiku kumahiku. E ho'ike mai, kana kolu kumalua. Maikai, kana kolu kumalua. E ho'ike mai, iwa kalua kumahiku. Maikai, iwa kalua kumahiku. E ho'ike mai, kana iwa kumaiva. Maikai, kana iwa kumaiva. E ho'ike mai, ho'okahi haneli me e hiku. Maikai, ho'okahi haneli me e hiku. E ho'ike mai, kana ono kumaiva. Maikai, kana ono kumaiva. E ho'ike mai, kana lima kumalima. Maikai, kana lima kumaiva. E ho'ike mai, e lua haneli, kana hiku kumalima. Maikai, e lua haneli, kana hiku kumalima. E ho'ike mai, ho'okahi haneli, kana ono kumalima. Maikai, ho'okahi haneli, kana ono kumalima. E ho'ike mai, last one, e ho'ike mai, e hiku haneli, kana ha kumavalu. Maikai, e hiku haneli, kana ha kumavalu. Maikai, so we can get up pretty high. With that, you kind of get up to however high you can count. But it's good to practice your numbers. The numbers do play a good role when we do come into reading things in Olelo Hawaii. One last thing about numbers, when we do get into dates, because that was one of the things I said, we don't want to pronounce our dates when we're reading in English. So let's say you have the date 1947. So 1947, you wouldn't say ho'okahi kaukani eiva haneli kanaha kuma hiku as 1947. You would break it up into two ones, just like how we do in English. 1947. So umi kumaiva kanaha kuma hiku 1947. And that's usually how we do all your dates, just like how we do in English. 1850 umi kumavalu kana lima. And then just do it that way instead of having to say 1947. That's how you do dates in Olelo Hawaii. Pretty much can do all the dates now that we learned most of the numbers. Oh yeah. But eho ika. So noho o kukui haa, noho o kukui haa I hea. Noho o kukui haa I hea. Maikai, noho o kukui haa ma kauai. Noho o kukui haa ma kauai. Noho o kukui haa ma molokai. Ai, ole. Maikai, a ole noho o kukui haa ma molokai. Noho o kukui haa ma kamahina. Maikai, a ole oia noho makamahina. A ole oia noho makamahina. Maikai. Noho ke ia iwa iuka. Noho ke ia iwa iuka. A ole noho ke ia iwa iuka. Noho ke ia iwa ikai. Noho ke ia iwa ikai. Mai kai. Noho o nuku kona inoa. Noho o nuku ma na pali kahakai. Pali, ka he mauna, he pali. He mauna, he pali. Mauna, pali. He mauna a he pali. Na pali kahakai. Pali kahakai. Mai kai. A noho o kaniho iuka I mauna kea. Noho o kaniho iuka I mauna kea. Ai, a ole oia noho ma mauna kea. Noho o kaniho I hea. A ole oia noho ma mauna kea. Noho o kaniho I kai. Noho o kaniho I kai. Mai kai. A noho o kaniho I ka āpapa. Noho o kaniho I ka āpapa. Mai kai. So if we're kind of following along, all of those were the Pepeke Painu that we just learned. Kind of simple verb sentences. And usually in the ho'olauna, when you introduce yourself, you'll say noho au I blank. Noho au I blank. Aloha mai kākou, o wau o bo ko uinoa. No papa ko lea mai au. No papa ko lea mai au. Noho au I kauai. Noho au I kauai. O mai kai. If anyone had any ninau, e nino mai ka ninau, ina he ninau ka ke kahi. Leka wila mai. Hope this was very instructional, informative. You guys had fun with mo'olelo, and we will have a review coming up before our ho'ike. Mahalo ike iohui ana, a ahui ho.